I put on my metrics glasses, all my analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant, jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Big Factor, guys. It's a beautiful Tuesday here in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, clap it up, fellas. An extended clap. Look at us. I'm Pat McGuire alongside Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson. Nick Padone is remote with the indoor Scully this morning. Nick, it is really chilly, drop below, 35 degrees or whatever it was, but not a warm morning here in Cleveland, Ohio, in the land.
No, not at all. I'm increasingly sick of this. I think I'm actually getting sick. So,
Oh no.
all right. Yeah.
Nick, you got like the defensive coordinator look a little bit.
Yeah, the headphones with the
It is
that's kind of what
yeah.
I was going
It's
for.
giving
I was
Bill
going for like
Belichick.
the up in the press box type
You
look.
literally
The
look like a
up in the
MC
coaching
Bill
booth
Belichick.
look.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, North Carolina Bill Belichick.
Okay. I like
Yeah,
it.
like you won't catch me on the field, but I'll be up in the booth.
You look like you're about to
Yeah.
send 6. I love it.
No, I just I let my dog out before the show, and then I had this hat on, and then I took it off, and my hair was all crazy. So I was like, well, looks like we're doing the
Hat
show
day
with
it
the hat
is.
on.
Hat day it is.
So I do every
Yeah.
morning.
A lot of hats.
Yep.
Everyone's
A
got
lot of
that.
hats.
Yeah.
A lot of backwards hats. Yep. But honestly, guys, it was a cold one on Sunday too for our Cleveland Browns. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens. The final score is 23-16. We did see some good. We did see some bad. That Browns defense is back in their generational form, honestly, Super Bowl type form, where they've got Myles Garrett playing really well. We saw Dylan Gabriel in the first half. Couldn't really even punch it in from inside the 10-yard line multiple times. But Shedeur Sanders got some action on Sunday. Rob, I don't know, were you in the building for that game?
No, I was not.
Didn't
I was
make an
not.
appearance.
No,
Didn't make an appearance,
sirski.
but
No, sirski.
honestly, we got some Shedeur Sanders. Were you encouraged by anything you saw on Sunday?
Like I said yesterday, I was encouraged. I loved the throw over the middle to fan it. So I went back, I watched a little bit of a film breakdown. He had hit a check down on like a very similar play. He had hit Njoku underneath, but he noticed that the linebackers were creeping up, that they thought he was going to check it down again. So he rips the pass over the middle to fan it, like a 25-yard, and they're on a rope, on the money, hits him. I like a throw like that, a big-time throw to take a risk like that on a drive where we needed some points. I loved the back shoulder throw to Gage Larvin. It hits him in the chest. Amazing play by the DB. What can you do? NFL players are going to make plays. I like some of his decisive scrambles. He had a couple pickups, like a couple pickups of 5. I liked some of that. Obviously, got to stop holding the ball so much. Those 14-yard sacks aren't great. But it might be something that if he's that kind of guy, you got to live with him occasionally trying to make a play and taking like a 10-yard sack, but you might have to take the good with the bad at times. I'm very excited to see what he could look like with a full week of prep, full week getting reps with the ones, a game plan built around him to see how he could perform against what is very honestly, what I watched is a very bad Las Vegas Raiders team last night.
Oh, they were awful last night too, and that's one of the encouraging things, Nick. I know you talked about it on the Big Play Cleveland show last night, but Shedeur Sanders showed some good, some bad. What would you give a letter grade if you had to give a grade for Shedeur Sanders on his first half of football in the NFL?
Oh, that's tough. That's so tough. I think all things considered, he probably gets like a C-, but it was rough. I mean, if you're 4 of 16 passing with a 2 QBR, there's obviously a ton of room for improvement. But then after the game, you have Jerry Jeudy saying that the lack of reps certainly made an impact. You have Wyatt Teller saying that they didn't even know his cadence. So I really do agree with Rob. I think with a full week of preparation and a really bad Raiders team, we will see a better Shedeur Sanders. Kevin Stefanski said that when he met with the media on Monday, that the reps that he gets in practice this week will make Shedeur Sanders better. So I think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about Sunday. I'm certainly excited to see what the dude could do. And honestly, guys, like, I think it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. Like he's a 5th round pick. He's a bit of a project. I think you see that with the sacks. I think you see that when he holds onto the football for a really long time. For me, I'm hoping like for every bad play, can you have 2 really good plays? Because if that's the case, you're night and day better than Dylan Gabriel. And I said on Big Play Cleveland show last night, I think Shedeur Sanders played better than Dylan Gabriel. The half that we saw from Dylan Gabriel and the half that we saw from Shedeur, even though the stat sheet will tell you that Dylan Gabriel played a better game, they didn't even convert a 3rd down until Shedeur Sanders got in the game. So I think just the threat that Shedeur has to push the ball downfield is something that the Raiders are going to have to be ready for. Now, the one thing that the Browns have to do, Tommy Rees, Kevin Stefanski need to be in the lab right now figuring out how to neutralize Max Crosby in this game. Because if you could take Max Crosby out of this game, Shedeur will have a chance. And I'm pretty excited about that.
Jack, where would you go with the letter grade for Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, I'm not going to go much higher than Nick on this one. I mean, I'm going to give him a C, and that's just solely off the fact of my dad was gone over the weekend, so I sat down and watched the full game with him last night because he didn't get a chance to watch it live. You talk about that game so much differently if something different happens there in the end zone. Somehow that ball he puts in the bucket ends up in Gage's hands. So I'm gonna give him a C just because like the narrative could be so much different if one ball goes a different way. But hey, it's also the story of the NFL. I don't know. I'm just ready to move on and see Shedeur though for more of a full-time stint, I guess, because like I've now seen 4.5 weeks basically of Dillon Gabriel with the set game plan and everything catered to him, ready to go. We started the ball basically twice in the red zone, got 6 points out of it. Like he clearly can't do much, and I'm not saying Shedeur is for sure going to do more, but I think I've seen enough where I kind of know, okay, Dillon's maybe not going to figure it out this year. Let's give Shedeur a chance with, a full week of practice like we just talked about.
And here's the thing, right, Jack, to what you just said. If Shedeur stinks up the joint, and we're obviously...
Who cares? We're 2-10.
Right. and we're not obviously of that mindset. We're a little bit more optimistic. We think that he's got a little bit more talent than Dillon Gabriel. All of those things are true. But if he has a bad showing, okay, you've got 5 or 6 regular season games left to go, and you know that you don't have a quarterback on this roster, and you know that you're going to be drafting one in April. But you've at least got to find that out. Like you've at least, especially against a bad Raiders team, like this is a great opportunity for Shedeur to get out there because it will give us an actual glimpse to where this dude is at. It will give us an actual glimpse of can Shedeur Sanders be the bridge quarterback in 2026? Like this game will answer a lot of questions for the Cleveland Browns going forward. And it's kind of a good thing that luck worked itself out this way. And obviously you hope Dillon Gabriel is fine with the concussion because he showed a little bit of promise. I know we've definitely ripped him to shreds, but he's definitely a guy that could at least complete checkdowns and be a backup quarterback. If you had a better offensive line and you had a better receiving room, I bet Dillon Gabriel would look a little bit better, but this all really is shaking out for the best. So the Browns could have an actual picture into what each of these quarterbacks can do. Because maybe there's a world where they're completely wrong about Shedeur. Like maybe Shedeur could go out there and really be good and really be an answer, or maybe they're right and maybe he is a project. Maybe he is needs more development. At least we'll know for sure, especially against a bad Raiders team.
That's so funny to think about too, guys, because what you said right there, Nick, is so indicative of the Cleveland Browns too, where you said maybe they're wrong, maybe he's good. That's the craziest thing to think about, where like all of the odds are that he's bad in this system, like with the Cleveland Browns, that he can't be really even resuscitated from the terrible quarterback play that we've had for so long here. Dillon Gabriel was 7 of 10, basically in the whole first half. I didn't see the play he left, guys, with that concussion, but I would find it very hard to believe that he'll clear the concussion protocol very quickly, especially going over to Vegas, 3.5 hour flight, whatever that is. But Shedeur Sanders is set to start. He was 4 of 16. We kind of talked about the box score, not really telling the picture. Those throws that he made, yeah, he was kind of scrambling for his life a little bit behind that terrible offensive line, Rob. But I was a little bit encouraged there, especially against a good defense, too, against the Ravens, too, because the Ravens' defense is playing much better than people are talking about.
I need to see how they make the adjustments to dealing with the blitz because the book is out. The Ravens saw it. They were sending 6, 7, and 8 guys at the quarterback, and we were not picking it up. The Browns already struggle as it is to pick up 4 guys, so when you're bringing extra and we got a max protect, we need to have a running back pick up a linebacker, and then we got to have everyone win their one-on-ones to give him some time. That's rough. And when the pressure was there, he wasn't getting the ball out quick. He was kind of stuttering. He was second guessing a little bit, which is very normal though. You get thrown into a game. I'm looking for him to be much more poised in the pocket. So if he could find answers to make teams not want to blitz him, I think that would be really good for him because when he had time, he looked super comfortable 100%. Making decisions, taking scramble yards, making throws when he got the time. If he could figure out that other piece and beating the blitz and being efficient versus that's when we start to say, oh, well, we got something here now. Because we can't blitz him, can't give him time. That's when the defense got to really start trying to think, mix things up, and that's when, you can start hitting his different throws across the field. I think the other thing to really watch with Dillon, too, concussions are super iffy. It's person to person. Like, we saw Cedric Tillman was gone for, 3-4 weeks with a concussion?
A decade.
Pretty much.
And with how this works with the 3 practices in a week, if Dillon isn't clear, and then he's working his way back, and it's a thing where it's like, oh, well, around Thursday or Friday, the week after, they find out he's good to go. Well, he's not going to start versus the 49ers because now we've missed all that practice. You missed all those reps. You're going to have to go with Shedeur again. So that's the thing we'll have to keep looking forward and seeing how that works and how things progress with Dylan that way before we possibly see him coming back.
Here's another thought too, Rob, based off of what you said, the first part of your take there with the offensive line and these receivers and all that. We know Dylan Gabriel isn't a franchise quarterback, right? We could check that off our box because he did not elevate the roster around him.
Facts.
Now it's the same offensive line. It's the same receivers that Shedeur Sanders will have Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders. So if he plays well, it'll be like, hold on now, because we know these receivers aren't that great. We know this offensive line isn't that great. And if he's able to play well and secure a victory, it will be like, okay, this is really good. This is really encouraging. But if he doesn't, and if it does look more of the same, isn't the answer kind of there baked in itself? Like if he can't look good with this offensive line and these receivers, it kind of tells you, well, this is a guy that probably can't overcome not having a perfect environment around him. And like Deshaun Watson was the same story. Like Deshaun Watson couldn't overcome the bad Browns offensive line. And that's why he's no longer a franchise quarterback. That's why like somebody will give him a try, but it's going to be a half-hearted try. And it'll maybe be a 1-year couple of start type situation for Deshaun. But outside of that, I mean, his career is over because he couldn't elevate the guys around him. So like if Shedeur plays well, let's not change up that these receivers still aren't good. This offensive line still isn't good. And I think all of that has to baked in when since they're in evaluation mode. All right, let's evaluate that and let's tell the truth, like how we've been telling it for the last couple of weeks. If he's able to win this game with this offensive line and these receivers, he's going to deserve a good bit of credit both locally and nationally.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if those glimpses could be something he carries out throughout the game because, truthfully, I've thought about that pass to Larvidan a lot. We haven't really seen that at all this year. Like, it was a beautiful pass, and he gave the receiver an opportunity. He couldn't make the play, but, like, that's what I mean. We had a chance. Like, he's pushing the ball. He's looking to score. He's taking a chance. Obviously, you throw up a ball like that, there's a chance the DB could make an amazing play, maybe intercept it. But the way he perfectly placed it to where it was gauged, it hits him right in the chest, but then it takes the perfect play to just result in incompletion. I'm looking to see what that looks like across a whole game to see if maybe the receivers can make some plays and they just weren't getting the opportunities to how things were set up. Like, there's a lot of questions we could see, could go a lot of different ways. That's why I'm as excited as I've been all year to watch a Browns game, honestly, this Sunday.
The crazy part, too, about that throw to Gage Larvidan is it really was eerily similar, in my opinion, to, do you remember that play he had against Colorado where he threw it to, I think it was LaJonte Webster in the end zone against Baylor. It was like a 40-yarder.
Oh, the Hail Mary?
Yeah, the Hail Mary.
I had Colorado money line that. That was the night before we lost to the Giants last year. I was all in on Shedeur that night.
To Bond, too. I mean, if he could get settled and he just takes a little bit off of it, that's a touchdown. So.
Exactly.
I heard some people saying that like Shedeur meant to put that football where it was and Bond didn't finish the route.
This wouldn't shock me.
Not no reps together, but I want to see, that play. Like, if we see a touchdown there, like, every Browns fan's going crazy. We haven't seen a play like that in 5-6 years. So that's, you know what I mean? It's just I'm really excited to see how it looks. Like we've all been saying, it could go super poorly. He could get sacked 12 times, and it could just be like, well, it is what it is. But, there's the chance, and, all we can take is a chance because we haven't seen a lot of bright spots, so we'll take a little glimmer if it's there.
This would be probably more like a mini Jameis in a way, though.
These Dylan Gabriel gobblers, like, just looking for any chance to rip people apart, like, stop. Sports are supposed to be fun. Like, let people be excited for 1 week. Like, the most exciting game that we have to talk about this entire Brown season is the preseason opener. Like, you can't even really get excited about the Packers win because Joe Flacco was horrible. You can't be excited about the Dolphins win because the Dolphins are awful and Dylan Gabriel wasn't even on the field for 3 of the team's 4 touchdowns that game. So it's like, let people have something. Like, this season has been so bad. We're literally sitting every day in fear that Kevin Stefanski is going to open up the 21-day practice window to put Deshaun Watson back on the field. Let people have a little fun.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in Las Vegas.
What has Dylan Gabriel done, if we're being honest?
Yeah, truly.
Right.
Right.
Nothing.
He hasn't done anything to show you.
It's been so bad.
Yeah. And the thing, too, is like, even with Shedeur, it was his first half of football, but I'll take the bad with the good at this point, too, because I think still that was a very good Ravens defense. They had a really piss poor start to the season, but they've been playing a lot better as of late. Yeah, Shedeur had to roll out, and he took 2 sacks for 27 yards. That looks a lot different from the 1 sack for 7 yards that Dylan took. So we got to get that cleaned up. But also at the same time, like, he brings an energy that, Zay was talking about on Honor the Land, but he brings like an open the coolers 2017 first win, like Baker Mayfield Thursday Night Football type of energy. The Boo Birds were out on the first incompletion, guys, on Sunday. And I haven't heard that in a while. I honestly wasn't really expecting it. Like, why wasn't I expecting that? Who knows? But the Boo Birds were out in the first quarter at Cleveland Brown Stadium. Like, it is crazy to think about that. There can be such a culture change too.
They were booing the kid with the lead because these fans know bad football.
It's brutal.
Like we were winning that game, and Browns fans still booed Shedeur Sanders because still booed Dylan Gabriel for Shedeur Sanders because they knew that what they were watching was not going to be sustained, and they knew that the lead was going to evaporate because Dylan Gabriel could not convert a third down. He was 7 of 10 passing. The 3 incompletions came in massive spots, and they were wildly inaccurate throws.
I feel so bad for Dylan Gabriel just because, like, the guy didn't pick himself 94th overall or whatever it was. The guy was taken after him that everyone wants to see on the field. Like, he was set up to fail. He's the one who was set up to fail.
Crowd was half empty, and I haven't heard the stadium that loud all year.
Yeah.
I saw him trot out on the field. You got to pay attention, man.
Yeah, and you made a good point yesterday too, Rob, where you saw guys, Wyatt Teller and people like that who actually showed energy for the first time, like damn near all season. But guys, we got so much more to get into. Shedeur Sanders will be most likely starting. It's 99.99% sure that he'll be starting in place of Dylan Gabriel as they head over to Las Vegas. We haven't won over there on the West Coast in quite a long time under Kevin Stefanski, so we shall see what happens there. But first, I got to tell you guys about our friends over at Garage Beer. They've got those 2 flavors, Classic Light Lager and that Classic Lime. It's no frills, no bitterness, no IPA taste. It's just beer the way you want it to taste. It's beer-flavored beer. So give that QR code a scan. Visit their website, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find a local retailer near you who sells garage beer. That's drinkgaragebeer.com. Guys, we're going to talk about some more Shedeur Sanders news. His house was broken into. I don't want to give it all away, but crazy. The guy couldn't get the comeback win for the Browns, but his house was broken into during the game. We're seeing that a lot more. We'll dive right back into it on The Big Factor. Hey everybody, welcome back into the Big Factor, guys. Your Cleveland Browns at 2-8, heading out to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. But Rob, you talking about in between the breaks there that the Browns haven't really won on the West Coast in a long time. Now we're taking on the Raiders, but we haven't beat the Raiders in over a decade. Yep. I know they were in Oakland, but
haven't beat them since 2012. Jack wants to ask us a couple questions about some guys that were on the last Browns team to get the win versus the Raiders away in Oakland.
Am I asking questions? Or you want to run off some names on that?
I mean, I'm assuming like that's got to be like Whedon.
Yeah,
Brandon Whedon,
like Greg Little.
Brandon Whedon, 364 passing yards in the victory.
Josh
by the way,
Gordon played on this team.
Probably
Josh Gordon, 6 for 116 and a tutty.
We got Greg.
How about
Little
Isaiah Crowell in there?
Greg Little was in there. The Crow is not there.
Not in there.
Yeah, Trent Richardson had the most carries.
Wow.
Who's running
on that baseball field?
Cameron or like Ben Watson?
Both of them.
Oh wow!
Wowzers.
Okay.
Combined 8 catches for 130.
We got Obaniah backing up.
No.
Duke Johnson.
Tennessee kid.
Oh,
Tennessee.
Montario Hardesty.
Montario
Hardesty
Hardesty.
roster is the two-back.
Nice little 5 for 39.
Muhammad Massaquoi still on the roster.
Oh, yeah. Had a 54-yard catch. Of course
How
he
about
was.
that?
Wow, man. What a game.
Was it
for
Carson
them.
Palmer on the other
That
side?
would have been the longest throw for the Browns all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Whedon slung it a little bit.
Yeah, Carson Palmer threw for 351 yards in that one.
That was a shootout. What was going on out in the Bay that day?
Out in the Bay. Man.
Jeremy Stewart leading the Raiders in carries. Anyone? No.
Jonathan Stewart, maybe?
No, Jeremy.
I know, right?
Brandon Myers, 130 receiving yards on us.
Okay.
Outrageous.
Darius Hayward Bay coming off clutch.
Wow.
Wow.
How about that?
Madden.
That's like the MJD era, Maurice Jones-Drew. But
Yeah.
guys, we haven't won over there in, 14 years now, basically. But yeah, so we lost to the Raiders in, what was that, last year with the defensive touchdowns. And we haven't beaten the Raiders in quite a long time, like you said, 2012 on the road. But we head over there as a 2-8 football team. Shedeur Sanders trying to bring a little bit of hope for your Cleveland Browns. Jack, the Browns opened, last I checked, at 3.5-point underdogs on the road. Were you surprised to see that line at all?
Me? Oh, man. I mean, no, not at all. I mean, Shedeur's making his first career start. He just went 4 for 16. I mean, I know the Raiders didn't look too pleasant themselves. I'm surprised they even have a line out in this game. This should be like a pick'em game. How can you pick between
Stoppable object.
Yeah,
and movable force?
yeah, exactly.
Right? Like Coffin Baby
I think it's
versus-
literally just. I mean, like the Raiders are.
Give him a field
3
goal.
points.
Yeah, they gave him the home
It's
3
literally
points.
just the home field advantage thing,
Yeah.
which really doesn't even matter because Vegas is such a tourist trap that it's
Right.
going to be mostly.
It'll probably be more Browns
anyhow.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about how many Colorado fans are going to come over there. From Shedeur
It's
Sanders'
actually going to
territory.
be a pro Browns
It's
crowd.
going to be a Browns
It's
crowd.
gonna
It was
be-
the last
yeah.
time we were there. Shoot.
Yeah,
But-
it will be.
Do you think what would you need to see, guys, for the Browns offense? Shedeur Sanders moving the football. You don't have to give me a total yardage or anything like that, but to capitalize on what could be a terrible defense for the Raiders. I know they've got Max Crosby, but if you can control him, this defense is very gettable, and I don't think the Raiders offense will be able to move the ball either.
If I
Could
see
you be
3
better than
complete
Dylan
passes that go
Gabriel?
10 yards down
Like
the field.
that's the bar right now
Yeah,
because
I
that's
just
the
wanted
only
to
other
be-
quarterback in the room. Like, could you throw for a clean 175 yards and put 2 touchdowns in the end zone?
Yeah.
Because
Can
if
we
the
be
answer to that is
balanced
yes,
for the
then
first time?
and you can escape Vegas with the victory, you are effectively a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. Like the bar quite literally could not be lower for Shedeur Sanders. The kid has been so bad that as all you have to do is be better than Dylan Gabriel. This is like a dream setup.
Yeah, and the over-under is a dreadful 36.5 too, guys. So they're seeing not a whole lot of offense in there. But if Shedeur can throw $150 and a touchdown, I think you'd call that a win. Honestly, no matter what it looks like, if he's taking 10 sacks, if Max Crosby pulls a Myles Garrett type of game, that's a different story altogether. But this O-line, I mean,
Do you think we see the big ticket at any point?
I think we do. Personally, I do.
I think we do too.
Dude,
I
maybe-
actually think that did they commit to Geno right after the
I don't-
game
I haven't
last
seen
night?
What if Kenny finally throws a touchdown pass to the Browns?
Lord.
Oh my
Possible.
God! Yeah, Hanford was saying it all. Hanford was saying it all year, where he's like, Joe Flacco will throw you some, but he'll throw us some, but he'll throw them some too. Honestly, Kenny Pickett's not that far away from that
Dude,
either.
if we could get 300 yards of offense, because I think if we
That's such a low.
no, but that's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean, and I think
I
that
know.
like teams that average that are like 20th in the league. But I think if we could have a competent game where he throws for 200 yards, we'd finally see Quinshon Judkins have a big game.
If it's similar
Because
to
it
a
wouldn't
stat
be
line you can have in
loaded boxes
Madden.
every game. Like just a regular, like a pedestrian, like
Pretty much.
give me like 80 yards from the back, give me like 220 from my quarterback. And that's all I'm really asking for. Like I would be ecstatic. I would
What
be
a
like,
state we're
that
in,
would mean we
guys.
might score like 24 points. Man, I would be like, let's go.
That dude, I was
Imagine if we beat
thinking
the Raiders
today,
like
I was
24 to
I was like,
13.
for his final score
Ugh.
prediction, like how sweet would a 21-14 victory?
Yes,
be?
like,
Oh,
that would be
yeah.
like
Oh,
3
yeah.
tuds, 2 passing, a rushing. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm
What
not-
if we won a football
I'm
game by
asking for
double
too much
digits?
with the extra field goal, but
Oh
God.
man, we'd be building a statue for the guy.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable, guys. Thinking about it at the -3 number 2, where it's literally just a toss up, and the home crowd, it's going to be a Browns home crowd, to be honest with you guys. I would be shocked if this
The whole
game
entire state of Colorado is
doesn't-
going to be there too.
Yeah.
Are we betting Browns money line?
Absolutely.
That kind
Yeah,
of sounds
money
like
line.
that kind of
This is
sounds
Shedeur's
like what Matt's
debut.
baiting us into.
Hey
here.
man, I like it too, and honestly, the under might hit as well too, because I don't think Geno Smith, like if he struggled last night against the Cowboys defense, like granted, I know they got Quinnen Williams in there now, but the way he looked, I think we're gonna see the big ticket. Honestly, I really do.
That'd be so. But then there's also like there is also the if you lose to Kenny Pickett element too.
Yeah.
You do have to address that part of it.
That would be the most Browns outcome imaginable.
Like Shedeur throws 2 picks.
If Shedeur
Kenny
plays
Pickett
really
goes
well,
like a touchdown and 200 yards.
Yes,
We come in here next Monday and talk about trading Kenny Pickett. How good would we have been with Kenny Pickett this year? Would we be 500?
Was that Baker's it was like his second or third start. We go to Oakland and we play and we lose like 42-45.
Yeah, Nick Chubb 3 carries, 900 yards, and Carlos Hyde gets 15 touches.
Amazing, but we somehow lose. The
Hey,
game.
John Dorsey. After that game, John Dorsey had to jettison Carlos.
He did the money ball. He did the Carlos Pena money ball. You can't put Pena in the lineup. He's in Tampa Bay.
I traded him. God, what? I mean, just what? Like, you're talking about the ghosts of Christmas past, Nick. Like, it's so crazy. We've got a story for every single thing with the Browns too. Like, we've got that Raiders game where Hugh Jackson was in there. We've got the
didn't the refs like blow a call in that game too late?
So Baker Mayfield was running, right? Baker Mayfield was running, and they said they could hit him helmet to helmet because he was a runner, as if that has ever changed anything in the world. But I don't know what.
That was like one of the first times Reflog tweeted out like we can't find any other way to screw over Cleveland, so 15-yard penalty.
There was a big meme. So I think Carlos Hyde had a rush late in that game where they like drew the first down line, and then they had this thing where they like curved the ball up because they gave us like one of the worst spots.
Oh.
And they said we were short, and it was a lot going on in that game. Man. A lot.
It's always a house of horrors on Sundays, guys. But
weird things happen when you play the Raiders too.
Yeah.
Truly.
There's another one of those teams like us where it's just like a Mad Libs like Powerball of anything in the world could happen when they're playing.
Oh my God, guys! You never know what's going to happen on Sunday. We'll be tuned in. Obviously, it's a 4:00 start. They've had 2 back-to-back 4:00 starts.
Can I ask you guys that real quick? Sorry to interrupt. What were your guys' thoughts? So we got it last weekend. Reading it again this weekend. 4:00 start versus 1:00 start. How does it change your Sunday? Do you like it or no?
The 4:00 start would have been absolutely miserable if Shedeur didn't play. It would have been the worst. It would have been the absolute worst thing ever if he didn't go in the game. I would have slept through the whole game like I had done pretty much every other week. I would have just been I would have been a zombie watching the game just like the team. I literally, when I heard the crowd explode and I saw him running onto the field, I shot up. And for the first time, I had energy watching a game. So that was the only reason I had any happiness or reason to be locked in. I was bored out of my mind. I hated watching every other NFL team win a game. I saw offenses. I saw players make plays. I seen it all. And I was like, oh, now I got to watch my team be deplorable on national TV. And it only was saved because he went in the game and it gave us something to talk about.
Dude, I like the watch Red Zone and not have to like half watch the Browns, half watch Red Zone. Like you can fully focus on the rest of the NFL. Then you get your game. Then you get primetime. I think it's just like the perfect sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, but couldn't you do? Usually that's how it goes. Instead, you start your day off with the Browns, and you know how that usually ends out. And then you got Red Zone, and then you got Prime.
But I like the Red Zone for more games, though. It's like March Madness, kind of, you know?
Out of the way because
me too.
They usually
rip the Band-Aid off.
Put the game of the week at that middle slot, right?
Yeah, typically.
So
on
then
Fox,
you get a great game at 4:25.
Yeah.
Then you get prime time, and I'm
this is a good NFC game. I feel.
By then I've forgotten about us getting absolutely dropped off. We scored 120 or we ran 120 yards. You know, nothing. We did absolutely nothing. We threw for 2, and we lost by 10. And then I just watch good football the rest of the day.
So we mentioned the environment in Vegas. I was looking at flights yesterday.
Hell yeah, dude.
They're like not that crazy, and tickets aren't that crazy either.
Yeah, Nick sounds like he might be boots on the ground for that one, honestly.
Just saying.
Yeah. Guys,
if you parlay that with a Golden Knights game, I'd be joining you.
He might just do it. Guys, we got more to get into with Shedeur Sanders, actually. He got his house broken into. We got to dive into that when we come back here on The Big Factor. Hey everybody, welcome back into the Big Factor, guys. It's another Browns lost Tuesday as they lose to the Ravens 23-16. While that was going down, though, Shedeur Sanders making his NFL, basically his debut. Yeah, he, his first half of action for the Cleveland Browns, took his first real NFL meaningful snaps. But at the same time, guys, his house was getting broken into. He literally had the wrist up as he was, walking off the field or whatever, and that type of stuff. But his house was getting robbed at the same time that he was playing, guys. We've seen this happen with Joe Burrow. He got his house robbed earlier in the season. Can you kick a guy more when he's down? You get back home and you realize your house been robbed, guys.
Yeah, I mean it's not good. That's about all I got for you on it. I mean you probably on the other side of the coin have to say if you're gonna do it, you probably picked a good time. You know he's not home, but it's a bad situation. Luckily, no one's like hurt or injured, and that is the nice thing. At the end of the day is like property is property, and there's always like goods are replaceable. So I mean it stinks, but at least there was no like situation like Joe Burrow. There was the whole love life situation that came out of it, in addition to all the the property stuff. So at least no one's hurt. There was no issues that came out of it. Everyone's okay. He'll be okay.
This keeps happening though, and I mean
how?
Because
crazy.
athletes are, I don't want to say an easy lick, but their schedule, so it's it's very easy to plan because it's all so public, and it's just I don't know that.
I thought burglary went out of style though. I thought everything went white collar online. I didn't know they still really broke in.
Organized group that has been doing this.
It is.
I think this is an
That's the ones that hit Joe Burrow.
Investigation that the FBI's got to figure out what's going on because the name's going I'm pretty sure Mahomes it happened. Kelsey. I think some NBA players.
Ronaldo, not that long
Carl
ago.
Anthony Towns. I know Luka's house was broken into.
Yeah.
I think the same thing happened to SGA sometime during the finals. Maybe it's been a whole thing that just keeps going on to something that now you're getting desensitized to it because it's just they hit everything.
Yeah.
Every time it's a big thing happening, they're burglarizing people's homes. So I don't know what the fix is, but someone somewhere like the FBI, they got to get on this. They got to catch these people. They got to put a stop to this.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because it was about a year ago when the Burrow break-in happened, and the league put out a memo to all 32 teams, a security advisory, telling guys to put cameras up, have people watch over your place while you're at games, because it is an organized crime group that's targeting pro athletes that they know the schedule, they know they're going to be on TV, so they're not physically going to be home. But what's wild is Burrow had that Olivia Ponton at his house, and it still happened. She showed up and it was ransacked. So these guys definitely have some sort of an inside edge. It's horrible that it hit so close to home here. Even the Burrow one felt kind of close because that was in Ohio and in Cincinnati, but for this to happen in a Cleveland suburb, it is obviously crazy. And now it's another thing that Shedeur Sanders is going to have to deal with. People forget these guys are human beings too. So if you got, if my house got broken into, I'm going to have to deal with that on top of dealing with everything that goes on at Big Play at a daily basis. And that's going to stink. So for Shedeur, now you got to get ready to make your first NFL start while dealing with, I'm sure, police reports and paperwork and trying to figure out with your insurance what you had in Cleveland versus what was still in Colorado. It is genuinely another layer of this story of Shedeur getting ready to play the Raiders next week, because it's just another thing that he's going to have to deal with.
Let me ask you guys real quick. If you were ever in a situation where you were getting burglarized, I don't know if that's the proper verb,
Sure.
and you guys were at home, what are you doing? What's your first thought? What goes through your head?
What, they break in the house?
Yeah.
Well, you're just giving everything up. You cooperate.
Yeah.
They're armed.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. You don't know that.
Yeah,
I feel more likely than not, they probably are.
Probably right.
I'm not.
Right?
I mean, unless they're not coming in with just nothing. How else are you?
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, they're not.
Could be
They're
just
not
a
coming
bluff.
in with a pool noodle.
And then I mean, if they do have a weapon, you don't know if it's loaded or
That's
not.
true.
So,
That's
I mean,
true. That's
if
true.
there's multiple people, you're cooperating, and you're hoping
Yeah,
nothing happens.
you got insurance.
Yeah.
You
So you're not going
cooperate.
baseball bat Jon Snow style, just see what happens.
I mean, if you want
No,
to,
Wasn't
you get
planning
the
on it.
authorities
Okay.
on the ground.
I mean, life insurance won't benefit me. It'll just benefit other people. So.
Yeah, on that note, guys. Yeah, Nick, you could be running for the new cards that you've been trading for, the new baseball cards, football cards obsession that you've had lately. I don't know if you're still into that too much.
Dude, I got a couple
right
cool
here.
ones actually.
Yeah,
right
let's
here
see.
on
Let's get the
desk.
Get
haul.
them bad boys going.
We've got a Dylan Harper,
Hey.
hardwood stars. Cam actually pulled
Good
this
stock,
one.
good stock,
Good
Okay.
investment.
good stock.
Okay.
Cam pulled that one. Pretty cool. Rob's gonna like this one. I think. I actually don't know where Rob stands on
Jared
one
Allen.
Cooper Flag.
Okay, you know,
PSA 10 draft night card.
Amico Hoops is a big fan.
I've got no problem with the kid.
attire?
I think he's a great player, and he's gonna be asked to do a lot of stuff unfairly. Kyrie's hurt, and they're gonna ask him to come in and be an 18-year-old who really should still be in college right now. He should be a freshman in college to be like the star of the NBA team. He's gonna struggle. Kid's got a bright future though. So
I'll be honest. This one, like, if they start putting him in like, like rookie of the year talks, like I'd have no problem flipping this one.
There. He's putting
kind of quick. But then this is the one that I'm probably just never going to get rid of. Shohei
Ohtani
on the Takashi Murakami. I love the art on that.
How about it?
Shout out
That's dope.
Japan.
O'Rourke,
Pretty cool.
Thoughts?
I don't know much about baseball cards, but it's very visually appealing. Give you that.
Guys, yeah, we got
There it is.
That's good conversation, but we'll dive into the NBA Association coming up next because the Cavs, they unveiled some new jerseys last night, the new City editions. We'll dive in. I know Jack's
disagreements about it.
We do have some disagreements. We're going to dive right into that coming up next on the Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome back into the Big Factor. We're back here. Pat McGuire, Jack O'Rourke, Rob Watson, Nick Pedone. We had some Cavs news last night. They got the victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo left about halftime. Right before halftime, he had a groin injury. Was playing well. The Bucks hung pretty well, I thought, with the Cavs going into that third quarter. Rob, I don't know if you saw anything there, but they kind of switched to a little bit of a zone there in the fourth quarter, I think I noticed. And then Sam Merrill was hitting from each wing. He poured in 20 points for the Cavs last night. In addition to those new jerseys, what did you see?
Well, first off, like I said pre-show, I like the jerseys in the court. Once I got to see it actually live in effect, I was like, I'm a fan of this. And yes, the Cavs do like to mix in that little 3-2 zone that they go to from time to time. But the Bucks hung really tough last night.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, even with Giannis out, I mean, Ryan Rollins was just absolutely sniping from three. He's been one of the bright spots on that team. I think they said he was shooting 47% from three so far this season on the broadcast. You got a solid outing from Kuzma towards the second half. He got a little more aggressive. But they played solid ball. They kept it competitive. But, I mean, another strong performance from Donovan Mitchell, obviously dropping about 37 points. Sam Merrill hitting the threes. You know, regular nights from Allen, Mobley, and Hunter, they were cool. But a lift from Craig Porter Jr. off the bench that we've been getting and that we've been needing lately with Darius Garland out. His energy, had a big steal and a
huge
dunks on
jam.
a guy. Just
that was crazy.
Him and Lonzo had a great play, and I think it was the end of the third, too. They press up. They get the steal, dishes it over to Porter for the layup. It's a huge momentum shifter. Just a good overall team win. I liked how the Cavs looked last night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially, too, against the Milwaukee Bucks. It feels like the East is kind of wide open as it stands right now. The Pistons, 10 wins in a row or 11 wins in a row at this point with JB? That's what they had their winning streak
Regular
going.
season merchants.
The old Fugazi JB Bickerstaff starts. I remember those.
Yeah. Hey, I'd take that right now because when you look at the Cavs, I know you talked about it, I think, last week, but they picked up their 5th loss of the season, and that was, 4 days ago? And the first time that they had 5 losses last season was in January 12th. They were 34-5, I believe, by the time they picked up their 5th loss last season. But, Jack, we unveiled the new City editions last night in partnership with the Cleveland Metro Parks. You weren't necessarily a fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to come in here and say they're terrible. I don't think they're terrible jerseys at all. I think the court was really, really cool. I think the jerseys were perfectly okay. Well, like a 4.5, 5 out of 10. I didn't like the shade. Didn't like the shade at all.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't wear, wouldn't buy.
I would not. No,
would not
I wouldn't
purchase.
even I have something City Edition from probably 2 of the last 4 years, whether it's a hat or a beanie or something. I will not be making any purchases this year.
Okay, Nick, your thoughts? Were they too similar to the Jazz, the Suns, anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
They're okay, right?
I'm wearing the hoodie from the one last year. I like the one last year. Obviously, I do like the collaboration with the Metro Parks. I think that's very cool. I just like when you think of basketball, you think it's usually pretty cold. It's usually pretty gray outside. Like, I think those uniforms would be really awesome if we played in like Georgia or Florida or California. So I don't know. They're very warm weather Cavs, even though the Cavs play when the weather is not warm. I don't know. Like the NBA, like what's nice is you only got to watch these a couple more times, and then they're going to have something new for us to talk about this time next year. So I don't know. I'm not going to be the Jersey police. The NBA likes.
Oh, I will be.
Oh. I think they're whatever. They're not my favorite.
Do you really think about the sunsets in Cleveland, Ohio that often?
No. Are we in Santorini? Like, no idea.
Well, like the sunsets in Cleveland, Ohio are usually cool. Not this time of year, you know. Like if the Guardians did these, it would at least make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, you could wear them for like a 7 o'clock game or something. Yeah.
I think the way that the Cavs released those retro jerseys too, if they hadn't done them in such quick succession, I think it would have been a little bit different. People would have been a little bit more have an appetite for that type of thing. But seeing them in person, I thought was actually really cool, and seeing the Cavs get a win in them is even better. So.
You should have like 3 colors of jerseys.
It's going to be hard to announce anything, to unveil anything, because those vintage Navy throwbacks are just perfect.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to do anything now that people have seen those.
Man,
and
they're just so beautiful.
Before we move on to, because I always got to keep it real with Mr. Mobley. We can't have another game where you got more turnovers than made field goals.
Yeah, what's happening?
Rob, he sold my. So I did our parlay. Game, I know we're about to get to our FanDuel parlay of the day, and I know everybody's tuned in. So hold on for that. I bet our parlay yesterday, but I was feeling a little dangerous. I was like,
oh no!
I took him 15.
Throw in one more leg of my own.
Took him 15 or 20.
Oh no!
I took Evan Mobley double.
Tough.
He wasn't even close.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
And it's because Naquan Tomlin and Thomas Bryant gets some minutes off the bench, bro. He's choosing the platoon instead of Nance. I think he's rotating. I think Kenny's trying to keep everyone as fresh as possible. So I mean,
Rob, what do you make out of Larry Nance Jr. seemingly ghosted out of this lineup now? It seems like it is going to be more Thomas Bryant, which certainly brought a physicality factor that I was a big fan of right out of the gate, and then Naquan Tomlin. Kenny Atkinson gave him love, said that he brings a lot of heart and a lot of hustle, and he's getting rewarded with meaningful regular season minutes. Larry Nance Jr. on a milk carton, though, last night.
Yeah, as it should be, you get rewarded for playing hard. And Naquan Tomlin, it gave the team a spark in about 3 or 4 games in a row where it was like it looked a little dead. People's legs looked heavy because we played a lot of games in a short stretch of time, and he was coming in every game. He was providing a burst. Even last night, he had a big play. I think he was guarding Bobby Portis. He strips him. Comes down, you get a defensive rebound, a couple of possessions of good defense. Like you said, Thomas Bryant, a more physical force, probably the most physical big man we have, even though he's the slowest. He's going to go in there and bump people around. I don't even think he scored last night, but he goes out there, he's physical. But Naquan Tomlin, the offensive rebounding and just the absolute hustle is something that you look for, but there would be situations where he gets played off the court because not a shooter at all, can't stretch the floor. All he can really do is cut and crash the glass. So there's going to be room and opportunity for it, but something you can get away with way more in the regular season. But just continue to look. If he's playing well, he's going to keep playing. He's going to get minutes because he brings that spark. But I wouldn't say Larry's just like gone forever because he has a different skill set and something that we may need later.
Yeah, it was a little bit jarring though too because like it still felt like the Cavs weren't, in my opinion, watching the game in person, like it didn't really feel like the Cavs were still that physical brand of basketball that they were looking for. Kind of felt like last year a little bit too, where, you had Miles Turner on the Bucks now. He played really well against us last year, but he was knocking down threes all night last night, and he was in the playoffs too. But it was a really strange, like, I'm glad the Cavs came out with a win, but at a certain point, you can't bank on Donovan Mitchell. Well, maybe you can, but can't really bank on him bailing you out in the fourth quarter every time because, Nick, it kind of feels like last year with, if you remember in that beginning of the season, like you were talking about, you just wait for the halftime and then you bet the Cavs money line. And it came through more times than not. It kind of feels like that again this year. I don't see anything a whole lot different currently.
Yeah, it's too early to panic because I said this on Big Play Cleveland yesterday. It's November 18th. But this team has some pretty alarming bad habits. The fact that they just go away, the fact that they shy away from any type of contact, like they do have a lot of the same bad habits that we saw in the postseason last year. And ultimately, that's why you're unceremoniously bounced by the Indiana Pacers in 5 games. So definitely a lot to get cleaned up for the Cavs. But again, like it's November 18th. DG has hardly played. Max Strus has not played. I have to imagine that those guys are going to be impact players in Atkinson's rotations come postseason time. So it's tremendously too early, but like those are the type of things that you do want to get corrected now in November and December. So when Garland and Strus get healthy in January and February, you can actually start to hit your stride in March and April and have the stock arrow pointing up versus last year with the Cavs. And even right now, like with the 10-5 record, like the conversation last year with the Cavs was that they peaked entirely too early. Like that 15-game run to start the year, and then they went on another 15-game run. And then you knew in April they were kind of out of gas because those bad habits crept in and they were leaning too much on Donovan Mitchell. So it's stuff that like the regular season doesn't matter. I definitely subscribe to that. Like I want to see what this team does come postseason time, but the regular season matters because they are still games that count, and you've got to use them to correct things, and you've got to use them to prepare yourself for those 7-game series when the season shrinks come May.
You gotta, and I like our bench a lot because I think they are the antithesis of everything the starting lineup is. You got a lot of grit. It's not a lot of flash. It's a lot of people that are kind of doing the dirty work. And the same thing, you lose a little bit of that. Jalen Tyson, who's been out with the concussion. When everyone's healthy, I'd really love to see how the team is because I wrote an article, I think it was last week, talking about how important Darius Garland is to the team as a whole. Like you really just have to lean on Mitchell when he's not playing because I mean, Darius Garland's offensive rating, like the only person it's comparable to in the NBA is Nikola Jokic as of right now. So like, he has a huge impact on the team. It's just I got to see what it looks like healthy, but like we've mentioned, the problem with the team is we're never healthy. So we'll see when it comes down to it, but I don't think it's way too early still to just panic, but a lot of things to figure out, but that's why you get 82 games.
100%.
Also, shout out Cavs on SI.
Shout out Cavs on SI.
All Rob's brilliant Cavs breakdown.
That's right. Go check them out over there, Cavs on SI. Honestly, too, we're about to get into our FanDuel parlay of the day, Jack, but if I were you before we head to this break, I would honestly take a peek at Donovan Mitchell MVP odds. We talked about that last year a little bit, too, but I would be interested to know what that number is. We're actually going to get into our FanDuel. Yeah, let me know after the break. We'll get into our FanDuel parlay of the day, some quick college football news, and then we're out of here, boys. All right, welcome back into the Big Factor, guys. It's time to wrap it up here with some college football news and our FanDuel parlay of the day. Jack, we had some college football head coaching news. It seems like we get one every single week, but James Franklin headed to a new home.
Yeah, dude, I think this is an A+ hire for the Hokies. Things have been down for the last couple of years after Beamer Ball ended. It's a program that hasn't won 10 games since 2012. They've won 10 games once since 2012. So, yeah, you can say James Franklin can only get you to wherever. Will he ever break through that glass ceiling? It's looking like no, but it's a Virginia Tech program that was once one of the best teams in the ACC. And if you really look around the ACC, who are the teams at the top right now? Georgia Tech, Pitt, Duke. I mean, Miami's hanging around the top right now. The conference is as open as it's ever been. Dabo's lost 4 games the last 4 years now, I think. The ACC is wide open. So who knows? It's a program has been down, but they could turn it around so fast and take a stranglehold back on the ACC.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, too, to see where Penn State goes from here. Obviously, we haven't seen we saw the interim tag as they took on the Buckeyes last week. The Buckeyes have should be an easy game against Rutgers coming up this week. But, guys, we could go anywhere now. We're going to go into a little action. I think, Nick, is that what I heard for your FanDuel parlay of the day? You got to tell us about our friends over at FanDuel first.
Absolutely, guys. Can't wait to get back on FanDuel this evening. NBA tip-off here. FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you missed the start of the game or you just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you'd even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot and an even bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So if you would have bet Cavs money line last night and you had $5 on that, you would have gotten $300 in bonus bets on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. So just visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You must be 21 plus, present in select states. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonuses are issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
All right, Jack. Take it away.
Let's do it, baby. We are starting out. Where are we going first tonight, Pat?
Where are we going?
There we go. We're going to college basketball first. We're starting out with the Blue Hens. Folks, they're 0-3 so far this year, but they just played BYU in a pretty okay contest.
We're
Christian
betting
Bliss.
0-3 team?
Yeah, we are, because they're playing
the
St.
Peacocks.
Peter's, and Christian Bliss is one of the best scorers in the country. Delaware, money line. They're taking this one home. Mid-major basketball. We love it, folks. Then the Detroit Pistons are heading
Cade Cunningham money line.
back in the A. Cade Cunningham money line, -112. We are taking the Pistons. Guys, water covers 75% of the earth. You know who covers the other 25%?
Izzo.
Tom Izzo and his fellas.
January.
+4.5 at Kentucky. They're not winning,
Izzo.
but we're keeping this one close. Last but not least, hey, Ziggy. We're heading over to the action. We got Bowling Green money line. They're taking down Akron. Football?
Come on, Zips.
Football?
Yeah, Max.
Football. There we go, baby. Some football in
I
action.
hope it's football.
Let's do it, folks. Hey,
Yeah.
can we go back to back?
Can we go back to back?
Back to
I won't
back,
mess it
back
up
to
for you guys this time. That was
Is that a
terrible.
world tour
That was
or
a
your
brutal
girls tour?
The same what she meant when she told you to
Open up more.
Oh my God, guys! What a good episode. As always, of the Big Factor, guys. We'll catch you next time. Same people, mostly the same place tomorrow on the Big Factor. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Better be the same place.